General Tao versus General Fai, but I cannot build any units, so that means no units from the command center, supply center, barracks, war factory, or airfield. Now this is a bit of a special challenge because you can't normally verse General Fai in General Zero Hour. So I was able to do this from the channel C&C HD. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out their channel and the video on how I got that file. Now it's not just General Fai, you can also get the General Disease challenge as well. So again, link in the description. So what I've done so far, I've got our reactor. Now I'm building a Gatling cannon right next to our command center. Now reason why we're doing that is because General Fai likes to send out 2 dragon tanks right off the bat. Now he's got a couple of minigunners, they're just going to take a few shots at my command center then run away. That's fine, no big deal. But we want to get those Gatling cannons up as soon as we can. That's why I've gone for another Gatling cannon right off the bat, right next to my first one. Now, General Fai is going to start off with a minigunner drop. So that happens right before the dragon tanks attack. So we want to be able to defend our base first from the minigunners, but also have enough time to deal with the dragon tanks that show up. That's why I never built the Gatling cannons at the bridge to begin with. Yep, so that's now dealt with. Now I took a bit of a gamble here and I went straight for supply center. In all the other attempts that I did on this challenge, I would go for Gatling cannon at the bridge, but I was like, nah, I kind of need to get those supplies quickly here, because supplies are one of the key problems to this challenge. Since we're not building any units, that means no red guards, so we can't capture oil derricks, can't build hackers, so there's no secondary economy, and whatever we've got stuck at our main base resource-wise, that's pretty much all we got to work with. Because the supply trucks would get killed if I sent them to the middle of the map where the other supplies are. So yeah, I've got to try and make the most out of the resources that I've got at that main base. So right now we're building a secondary supply center because I can't build units. It means I can't build supply trucks. So I'm going for an insta-cell on the secondary supply center right there. Now I've got 2 trucks. Now, something about General Fai is he sort of likes to fake you out with some of the infantry. You'll notice that like he'll move the tank hunters to the bridge, then he'll move them back, and it sort of gets you to like think twice about your dozer, which I am. Let's say I've stopped building the Gatling and then I'm going back in. It's because he keeps going back and forth, back and forth. Looks promising. And this time he actually went for the attack, and thankfully I got the dozer out of the way. See, since this is a no units challenge, this dozer is going to be the one and only dozer that we're going to use. So I've got to be extra careful not to let it die.
Are your resources getting low, General?
We will live in prosperity.
Yes, you should build more base defenses. At least then you can stop the first wave of the charging horde. You've run out of power, General. Your defenses are down, and my men will invade.
So I just finished building my 4th Gatling cannon. Now I did let my power go into the red here. That was intentional because I didn't want to leave one of my Gatling cannons at 99%, then go build a reactor, then go all the way back. I didn't want to do that. I thought that was going to be too slow to do, and I've got other things to do with the dozer anyway. So we're building the 2nd reactor. I'm going to take some damage with the 1st reactor in case General Fai does any attacks. Thankfully though, General Fai doesn't do any attacks, so I can just build the next thing and move on. So the next thing we're building is a Gatling cannon on my left side. So the reason why I'm doing that is because General Fai does send the Black Lotus down that side of the map. Now the Gatling Cannon's just going to pick off the Black Lotus every time she gets nearby, and I don't want to have my buildings get captured, so that's why we're doing that. Anyways, so minigunner drops happened, easily picked off by the 6 Gatling Cannons we got there. Then we can move on to the next thing.
Promising. A very good plan, General. Looks promising. Ah, yes.
So I'm building some Gatling Cannon scaffolds, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm assuming that General Fai goes on cash value with the nuclear missile launch, and I want to be able to bait it out with the scaffolds. I'll cancel out the scaffolds before the nuke hits, and then I'll be able to save my money and not get hit. Now I sold off one of my Gatling Cannons to lower the value of that area and increase the value of the bait. That's why I was doing that. Now the nuclear missile for General Fai is a little bit weird because there's no super weapon timer, and that means you got to put in a little bit of guesswork as to when the nuke will fire. Now this isn't actually part of the challenge, it's a scripting error. I mean, this is sort of like unfinished or unused content in the 0-hour game, so expect there to be some errors here and there, and this is just one error that happens to make the game a little bit harder. But on the other hand, I do have the gen tool in the top right corner, so all I'm doing is I'm putting in a little bit of guesswork and using the timer in the top right corner to help me guess when the next nuke is going to fire. And the nuclear missile, it ended up getting ready around the 1:10 mark, so if you factor in 6 minutes per nuclear missile timer, then that's going to be 7 minutes 10 if he does an insta-fire, or it might be like 7 minutes 40 if he delays it by 30 seconds like General Towns.
So far, I'm not impressed, General.
Yep, so I just got the chain gun upgrade, and I don't really need to explain. Chain gun upgrade plus Gatling cannons is going to be massive damage here, and that was my first thought after the nuclear missile had launched, was get your war factory up so then we can defend ourselves against the assault troop crawler. And so the assault troop crawlers come from the north, and that's why I put my 4th Gatling cannon close to the resources compared to the other 3, is I wanted to have 2 to take out the northern side and then 3 to take care of the bridge.
Of course.
You are not prepared for this challenge.
So now we're going to go for the propaganda center. Now that's needed because we want to build some nuclear missiles later on. The thing is, we cannot win without the super weapons here. I don't think I'd be able to win with a strategy where I would push my defensive lines further and further, because I just keep getting hit by nuclear missiles, because the carpet bomb and a level 3 artillery strike, it's not going to be enough, because the carpet bomb's never going to hit, and the artillery is just going to get undone because the dozer will repair everything before the next one's ready.
China is under attack!
We have discovered an enemy black lotus.
We are coming for you, General.
Where is the nearest depot? Where is the nearest depot? Where is the nearest depot? This is tight schedule. Where do you want these? Let's build.
And yeah, here I was about to build a nuclear missile, but then I changed my mind. I thought, okay, well, it's already been quite a bit of time since Fai's last nuclear missile. Wouldn't it be more ideal to bait out that next nuke first, then build your own nuke second? And that was what was going through my mind. So I set up some new bait, and because I had more cash to play with, it meant that I had a better chance of that being the targeted area from the nuke. That was what I was thinking at the time.
That's a good start. Let's take a look. Of course.
And yeah, since I could sense that the nuke was coming soon, I chose to put my dozer in the corner. I thought, I really wanted to put in some repair work on my Gatling cannons, but I did not want to roll the dice on that one. So I'm just hoping that my Gatling cannons stay in the game, so then we can move on to the nuclear missiles. Now I got my level 3 artillery from the General's promotion. This is where I sort of got into a bit of experimenting here, because I didn't know what he was going to rebuild. So I aimed at some base defenses, thinking, okay, maybe he won't restock the bunkers with infantry. Maybe he'll just rebuild the bunkers and then leave it at that.
Get away from my base. Do you know what 100 men can do to a
But the other reason for the attack on the defenses was because of the Carper bomber. Because I'm taking out the garrison buildings with the Carper bomber, and I thought, okay, well, if we get rid of some of those defenses in that middle section, then it means that, you know, the cluster mines that we get later on, and then the future Carper bombers can get further and further into phase base. That was what I was going for at the time.
We have discovered an enemy Black Lotus. Warning, a nuclear missile.
Yep, so the nuke's coming. I'm cancelling all the scaffolds as fast as I can. So we just recouped the money. But oddly enough, he ended up aiming at my main base, which I genuinely wasn't expecting that, because I had 8 Gatling cannons worth of stuff there. I thought that the $9,600 worth of stuff was going to be enough to get his attention, but even so, that was actually kind of a good thing for me, because he didn't really do a lot of damage. He took out the one Gatling cannon that was next to my command center, but because there was no radiation at the scaffolds, it meant that I could start building my own nuclear missile right away. Now, I've got no resources left to collect, and I've got no supply trucks. So the $7,200 that I have left, that's it. I'm not going to get any more cash unless I can either A, build a new supply center where the resources are at the middle, or cash hack. But cash hack is a general's promotion, so I've got to be able to take out some more of phase stuff before we get to a cash hack.
If you do not retreat now, I will unleash the horde to scrape you from our land.
Yep, so I got the first nuke. I decided to just build the second nuke right next to the first one. I did that because I wanted to try and use the nukes themselves as bait for Fai's next nuclear missile strike. And I'm using my Carper bomber again, just trying to whittle down Fai's defenses in that middle section so I can get more planes through later on. Now with the bunkers, I think he had one of those bunkers filled up and the other empty.
Death to all who oppose us.
We have big plans. Build orders complete, sir.
I just finished building my second nuke. Now I noticed that my power is running into the yellow here, so I wanted to build another reactor with my remaining cash. I tried to build the reactor a little bit away from my others, just so if there's a nuclear strike, I don't lose 2 reactors and then go into the red with my power. Anyways, the Gatling cannons are picking off phase forces. We're able to defend ourselves with the 3 Gatling cannons we got left. Oddly enough, the ECM tank wants to go for my dozer. I think it might just be scripted to go for vehicles because the dozer is my only vehicle in play here. So we're using our artillery strike next on Fai's reactors. So Fai, he has about 60 something worth of power being used and 7 reactors. So even if you knock out 1 reactor, you're going to shut him down. So the artillery is going to take out 3 reactors. That's going to give me a little bit of time before his nuke is ready to fire again. So the goal is for the nuke, my nuke, to be ready before his nuke.
Let's take a look.
We have discovered an enemy Black Lotus. Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Are you still here, General?
So I just hit rank 5 now. With my 3 remaining points, I went with the cluster mine and the level 2 cash hack. So the cluster mine is pretty self-explanatory. We want to stop or slow down phase attacks. Now the level 2 cash hack is going to be the only way that we can gain resources now. There's going to be no way that I could build a supply center in the middle of the map to get the other resources, because that's just going to get my dozer and supply truck killed anyway, so I don't think it's worth it. Now the EMP, I chose not to get that either because I didn't think it'd be a good option compared to the cash hack. I mean, EMP, you could use it on his defenses or something and then follow it up with a carpet bomb, but even so, he's still going to have a lot of minigunners and tank hunters to deal with the threat anyway. So I'm using my carpet bomb now on his supply center. I wanted to check to see if him running out of power was going to make a difference in me actually doing some damage. But I also wanted the cash hack, so I didn't really care if the carpet bomb hit or not. I just wanted that extra 2k so then I could spend the money on, you know, power plants, Gatling cannons for extra defense. I just wanted to have that little bit of money in my back pocket so then I could use it on what I needed.
Are you just going to sit there and wait to be overrun?
China has been generous. A very good plan, General. Of course.
So this is where I sort of got a little bit annoyed. Now, we got an ECM tank, and as I was saying before, I think it's scripted to go after my vehicles, because it's going right into my Gatling cannon fire here. But I wanted to build another Gatling cannon to help defend my base from both the bridge and the north. But every time I tried to build the Gatling cannon, Fai would send another assault troop crawler or tank hunter, and they would get in the way, and it's just, I can't take the risk because the tank hunter's got longer range, so I know that there's a chance that he could get some shots off. And then here comes another assault troop crawler. Again, it's like, I'm trying to do something, but you keep stopping me from doing it.
That's a good start.
So yeah, in the end, I gave up a little bit, and I was like, okay, let's just repair this one. And then I was like, okay, one more go. And yeah, funny enough, Fai sent in more men, some of which being tank hunters, and then that's when I'm like, oh.
Let's take a look.
If it was just minigunners, I would have been able to do it, but yeah, I just can't take the chance on those tank hunters. And the assault troop crawler too, because they can get pretty far into my base.
We will live in prosperity.
Our nuclear missile.
And yeah, I noticed the his nuke was ready. My nuke was ready. I launched. That was a panic launch. I thought that both of my nukes were ready. So I was going to go 1, 2, and then deal with the nuke before his nuke fired. But yeah, that's where my brain was at. And yeah, his nuke is almost dead, but I don't have a nuke that's ready. So I thought, okay, well, let's get our dozer out of harm's way, because he might launch. And he did. Weirdly, though, he aimed it in a bad spot. He did a little bit of damage, but it's like he was trying to get both of my nukes, the command center, just basically all of my most expensive stuff in one radius. But yeah, it just didn't do a lot of damage. And so I ended up responding with my artillery strike, because he was neglecting to repair his nuke. And yeah, my Gatling cannons couldn't deal with the ECM. I used my cluster mines. I was a little bit slow with that. I thought maybe I could stop the ECM. I did deal with his nuclear missile though, and I ended up launching my other one at his command center. I was waiting on that dozer to make a move, because I wanted to get him in the blast too. Now, just like Kwai, he's got 3 dozers and a command center. Once you take out all of those things, then he can't rebuild. Now, I wasn't sure that this was the case, so I was sort of just playing things a little bit on the safe side. But yeah, I can't rebuild anything right now because my dozer is frozen in place by the ECM. So I'm basically just stuck to general powers and nuclear missiles. So I used my carpet bomber, again trying to get some cash out of Fai. But yeah, that's sort of in the hopes of my dozer getting unfrozen by the ECM. Again, I didn't care if the carpet bomber hit the mark or not. I just wanted the cash.
We have discovered an enemy Black Lotus.
So yeah, my brain got to thinking, okay, what can we do to stop this ECM and get my dozer back? So then I ended up trying to build mines for the buildings. So I thought, well, maybe the mines will be big enough to deal with the ECM if it moves. But my own cluster mines were able to finish off the ECM. That unfroze my dozer and I was able to build again. So with 5k, that's enough to build a third nuke if I want to. Or I could build other things. I could build more defense because I'm still short 1 Gatling cannon from where I started with that defense. But yeah, I was a little indecisive at this point. I was like, I don't know what he's gonna do. He doesn't have a command center, which means he can't do minigunner drops. But I'm like, okay, what else could he do? Maybe he could launch some other attack that I don't even know about. So I'm like, okay, well, for now, let's just repair our stuff just in case.
I know just what it needs.
And hope for the best.
It is to feed a horde, General.
Ah, yes. Could use a little touch-up. That's a good start.
And yeah, it was, as I was repairing the propaganda center, I thought to myself, wait a minute, he could always send attacks from my left side. I've only got 1 Gatling cannon here. Well, if he attacks from that side, then he's probably going to take out my Gatling cannon and then take out my nukes. And I didn't want to have to deal with that, so I'm like, okay, let's hold off on a third nuke. Let's build some defense here just in case there's some assault troop crawlers. And just for added insurance, I ended up doing a load of cluster mines there too.
Construction built to spec. Let's build. Ah, yes. Let's take a look. Looks promising. Here, let me help. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. I know just what it needs.
Here comes the next big attack. I chose to use my artillery strike on the war factory, so then I could also get the cache hack in as well. But the war factory, that means no more assault troop crawlers. I used the nuke at the reactors and the supply center. I probably could have aimed the nuke a little bit higher to get all of his reactors out of it. Yeah, it just means that things will take just that little bit longer.
We will live in prosperity.
So just like that, all he's got left to work with is a reactor, a barracks, and a prop center. So by this point, we're pretty much in the clear here, but because this is such a difficult challenge, not building any units against General Fai, I was still very scared. But yeah, by this point, the next nuke was ready anyway, so once that nuke launched, I wasn't scared anymore. I was like, you know what, I think we got this. And this is when we start splurging money. Because I was like, yeah, let's just build the internet center. Let's finally build the radar that we never got. I never built the radar because I wanted to try and conserve the cache as much as possible. And I didn't think that the radar was necessary, really. And yeah, I decided to sell off a Gatling cannon prop center war factory just so I could get the level 2 satellite on the internet center, just to really see what he has left. And then went for the mines, went for the carpet bomb combo, didn't quite get there, so now I just got to wait on the artillery strike to be ready. Anyways, this was a bit of a special challenge and a bit of a thank you for the 500 subs mark as well. Really appreciate that. Hopefully I can bring out some more challenges, even more difficult than this one. I am Cricolo, like, comment, subscribe, and also comment your own challenge if you want. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh, it's not fair. One more super weapon and I would have beaten you, General. Challenge me again. I dare you.